Good morning, Deviant. My apologies for leaving you to wake up alone in the bed, but I hope this little surprise makes up for it. Well, it seems to me that it's high time we had one of those lazy Saturdays you've been talking about. And I figured it could be easily paired with you finally teaching me how to bake the quote-unquote real way, which I believe could more aptly be described as the human way, but I'm not here to stand on ceremony when it comes to semantics. You want to teach, I want to learn, and we both get a delicious baked good out of it, provided it all goes to plan. Well, I wanted to make sure we had all the ingredients ahead of time, so I got up a little early to run to the store. If I'm gonna create the ingredients with magic, then I might as well just make the finished product with magic. If we're gonna do it the human way, I figure we should do it all the human way. Besides, I do love going into a store every now and then. I like sensing which of the associates wants me the most, and then I go ask them for help, knowing full well that I don't actually need it. It's cute watching them scramble. I am not mean. They get attention from someone they're into, and I get a little energy boost. Their wanton attraction is a better pick-me-up than any espresso. Plus, I get the ingredients I need to then spend the morning baking with you. It's going to be a very good morning, isn't it? We'll see to that. Well, I looked through that cookbook you had laying around and found something that I think sounded good, so I figured we could give that a try. I grabbed everything it says we need, which, now looking at it all piled up here on the island, is a lot. Well, I picked the recipe that sounded the best. Oh, who wants to start at a beginner level? That's boring. I mean, if I was going to do that, I might as well just buy a box mix or something. As I understand it, baking is a skill based on precision and executing instructions, and I'm not a beginner at either of those things. Oh, come on. I'm good at following instructions when it suits me. Even if I do prefer to be the one giving them out. But then, we've had plenty of practice with that, haven't we, my little deviant? Maybe we can get a little more of that practice in while the cake's in the oven. Sounds about right. Now, back to the task at hand. Well, I mean, the name alone sounds grand. Marble chiffon cake. Plus, it looked good in the picture. I liked that the complexity was in the cake itself, not the presentation. It looks straightforward, but delicious, with the intricacy all on the inside. What's the point of a cake that's covered in mounds of frosting and fondant, and then the cake itself tastes like sawdust? Some people get so fixated on the presentation of it that they forget that ultimately it's something you're supposed to eat. Don't judge a book by its cover goes both ways. Just because something looks flashy doesn't mean there's anything of substance inside. And if we want to get a little less ephemeral about the whole thing, I like chocolate, and it looked tasty. Alright, you go melt this in the microwave, and I'll grab the sugar and water. Well, shockingly enough, as a being made of pure magic that doesn't actually need to eat human food, I don't have much experience with a microwave. Alright, then we put the sugar and the water in, and we stir, and set aside. Now, in a large mixing bowl, like this one, combine flour, baking powder, salt, baking soda, and remaining sugar. And we need how much of those things? I suppose this is the part where I make good on that ability to follow instructions. Alright, it is 2 cups of flour. There's 1, and there's 2. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. That's 1 and 2. 1 teaspoon salt. Okay. 1/4 teaspoon baking soda. That's a tiny little measurement. I will say, it's amazing what a big difference such a small amount of something can make. Gotta give the recipe writers credit on that front, at least. And then remaining sugar, which would be 1 3/4 cups, and we already used 1/4, so 1 1/2. There's 1 1/2. There. See, I told you I can follow instructions. Particularly when the payoff is worth it. And you know, speaking of payoff, I seem to recall a time, not so long ago, when I helped you study for an exam of yours. Oh, I don't know what you could possibly mean by that. I think I was incredibly helpful. And I think a big part of that motivation was a little quid pro quo arrangement we put together, where right answers from you led to kisses from me. I don't suppose we could reenact those rules for old time's sake. Well, then in that case, it looks like I just got 5 ingredients right. Seems I'm due a little encouragement. I think I'm starting to see what you like about baking. Alright, next instruction. Whisk together the egg yolks, water, oil, and vanilla. Separate. So, what's the best way to get just the yolk out of an egg? Or 7 eggs in this case. Seems like a lot. I mean, I suppose it is making a whole cake, but still. Okay. Show me one. Alright. So you just move it from one to the other. Okay. Like this? Interesting. So now we do that 5 more times. What about the other part of the egg? I mean, that seems like such a waste. Does it say if we... Okay, they get used later. Good. But if they're gonna end up back together, what's the point of separating them in the first place? Alright. Getting ahead of myself. Fair enough. Now we're supposed to whisk them together. Oh no. Oh, I just realized something deviant. Well, I've never had to whisk a combination of egg yolks, water, oil, and vanilla before. I mean, I guess you'll have to show me how. Maybe by coming up behind me, wrapping your arms around mine, and guiding my hands. Oh, come on. If we're gonna be corny, let's commit to it. There we go. Feels very satisfying. Sure, I was talking about the whisking. So, now we pour this into the first bowl and beat it for 3 minutes. And we just let the machine do that, right? Good. Well, I mean, all this pouring and whisking, even someone as muscular as I am could get positively exhausted without some help. I mean, we might both need a massage after all this work. And I should point out that was a few more instructions successfully executed meaning. That mouth of yours is a hell of a motivator, if ever there was one. The taste of you wins out over any dessert. Alright, step 3. In another large mixing bowl, we're going to use every bowl in the house at this rate. Beat egg whites and cream of tartar on high speed until stiff peaks form. What the hell are stiff peaks? Oh. Well, stiff I have plenty of experience in. Whipped egg whites are another story, although I do know my way around a whip. Let's see. It's a half teaspoon of cream of tartar and pour in egg whites. There. Alright. And the other mixture should be just about done, I think. Yeah. So we can go ahead and swap them out. Make sure we switch the beater to a clean one. Alright. There. And now we wait. Got any ideas on what to do to keep ourselves busy while our peaks stiffen? Not exactly what I had in mind, but okay. Ask away. Where did you hear those names? Figures it would be Caleb. Well, Elatum and Minara are part of what's basically an empathy demon bedtime story. I mean, they may have been based on real people at some point, but at this point they're more ideas than anything. The thought of something bigger helps empathy demons find purpose and stay focused. They're not like other demons. It takes them a long time to really settle into their roles without some level of guidance. Hundreds of years, at least. Caleb will still need guidance for a long time, even if it's not being looked after full time like it was when he first coalesced. Things like that are part of the reason why the chorus decided to cloak empathy demons from their charges and be the ones to assign them their charges in the first place. Well, the simplest comparison would be to say that the chorus is our equivalent to your ruling council. But that's a very loose comparison. Political and societal structure in Arya is fundamentally very different from that of humanity. But getting into all of that would take a lot longer than one mixing session, which I believe is just about done. Oh, they don't fall over, hence stiff. Yeah, makes sense. Well, the machine may have done the work, but it's still another instruction completed. So, the kiss seemed appropriate. I mean, I don't hear either of us complaining. Alright, we're almost there. Stir in a fourth of the egg whites into the batter. Okay, so scoop out a fourth and then just stir. Not unlike our whisking earlier, but this time woefully lacking in your body, pressed up against mine. Then fold in remaining whites. I'm gonna need a little guidance here. Oh, alright. So, kind of like stirring, but a lot less aggressive. I would imagine that's so we don't lose the stiffness we worked so hard to create. Or made a machine work so hard to create. Alright. Now divide mixture in half. Oh god, another bowl. And fold the chocolate into one portion. So this way we get our chocolate batter for the marble. Okay. Here, you hold the bowl and I'll scoop that in there. And now we fold again. Can you grab the tube pan over there? Perfect. Alright. And now we spoon both mixtures into the pan. So we have sections of chocolate and sections of white cake. Shall we do the honors together? Let's pour a little of this mixture in the bottom so the base is just white cake, and then we start adding more. Put some there, and there. There we go. Maybe a little more chocolate there. Perfect. And then we use a knife to swirl the mixture a bit, giving the marble cake its namesake. Oh, looks like I got some of the mix on my fingers here. I don't suppose you could help an Incubus out. Open your mouth. Oh, if I didn't know better, I'd almost say you had practice with that sort of thing. Come here. delicious. Now, let's get this damn cake in the oven so I can really make this a good morning for you.